All right, here we go. Game two. Game one was a banger. So we see a lot of adaptations. First off, G2 is going to be on red team. They've got Viego, Olaf, and Lissandra. So their ability to dive into a fight and kind of carry through it. The idea is to chase down, start it off with the Liss, get the follow-up, Olaf charging through. Viego should be able to get some resets. It's all going to be about getting that first kill because Viego and Jinx will get the resets in there. Now, Olaf has been slightly nerfed, still going to be able to carry this top wave. But going to have to be careful about Junjia and the Vi because K'Sante and Vi is a tremendous amount of lockdown. Now, that being said, Olaf coming in, once you get level 6, he's going to be able to ignore that lockdown. So, should be interesting. Very interesting ult versus ult matchup in the top lane where they both give up their resistances to start fighting. Of course, Olaf is going to be favored because he's got the low health passive and the ability to get that big shield. So expect Olaf to come in here. He's got the advantage. He's going to disrupt level 1. He wants to get information on this jungle. Steps back in. He just wants to see if Vi's starting it. There. Boom. He's got the information. That's all he needs. He got the one hit. He's going for more because he can. Oh my goodness. This would be ridiculous. If he actually goes in and takes this fight with the Vi in his face, he's going for it. Absolutely. Going despite Vi not being there, which means he's going to be able to win this fight. He did not want that Q to go. But Olaf, Broken Blade, showing the power of the Olaf, and this is ridiculously hype. Takes it to the K'Sante at level 1. Ben, if you're watching, you're going to absolutely love that. But here we go. Heal used aggressively by Mickey X to get in position for this trade. They want to keep on going. They are taking extra hits from the minions, so not as one-sided as you might have expected it to be. Now, Yike decided to come in for the party with the Viego. Flashes away from the charm, and he's able to get the body, which means he's able to get one knock up here. He's going to back out as soon as he gets that denting blows passive. But holy Christ, G2 has taken it to them. Yike kind of trespassing a little bit, but gets away with it with the complete outplay. The last possible second to get the execute and the flash away from the charm. Now, interestingly, this does mean that Ubao's got his W and E, so his wave clear is not going to be nearly as good into this Lissandra, and Lissandra's going to be able to create whatever kind of wave state she wants. Cap sacrificing a little bit of CS there to get this wave state and maybe create a fight in the bot lane. Now let's check this out in slow motion. Boom, Olaf baiting it out. Both champions missing their Q, but they both get it back. But of course, favor to the Olaf. The longer this fight goes, even missing a Q, it's not enough. Just auto attacks. Picks up the axe, comes over here. Now this is a mistake right there. Didn't actually want to put that Q. Maybe thought that he could get the Vi panic smiting. The faces of G2. Love it. Oh, we got a pause. Hopefully they're not having to reset this game. All right, they're good to go. So here we go. We're going to resume. Scoreboard is still 2-0. Caps ends up coming back into mid, despite getting that roaming position off. Now, this wave will be coming back. Let's see what she decides to do. Caps probably can just go and push this wave entirely, which looks like exactly what he's going to do. Stacks it up. You can see him getting in position, not letting the Ahri near any minions, threatening to hit with the Q. I love that kind of mechanic usage, but here we go. Yike showing just how powerful he feels right now with Vi not having the flash. Now, Vi choosing to continue that fight unwisely, honestly. Beautiful mechanics. Hit, get the Q auto reset. And here we go with that 4-man. We talked about Lissandra getting the pressure up in mid, and this has been the new shape of Caps here. Lulu taking the turret aggro, jumping out. They get the teleport, and they still get the kill. Almost get Woody as well. Hansama sidestepping, using the turret as a way to get the rockets out. They are going to keep the wave here, and they're going to go for these 2 kills. This is going to be teleport and 2 kills in pocket. Vi is nowhere to be had. Viego's going to go. They're going to go up front for damage on the Leona. Now they've got the Lissandra passive that's going to come grab aggro. Versus Ubao, and they're going to lock him up as well. And Yike gets out. 5-0, 3K to the gold lead. Yike sidesteps even the Q there. Waco uses flash aggressively to get that kill. They have to secure themselves something. I'm curious whether or not the shutdown gold was actually up in time for that. Now we do see what River missed earlier today, being able to counter jungle when shit is hitting the fan in the bot wave. You have to go counter jungle top, right? You have to go get something for your pockets, for the coffers. Get a camp at the very least, right? That is +1 for you. It's -1 for them. You take that, you limit the Viego's options. It also tells you where the Viego's going to be, right? He's going to see his Raptor camp is gone. He's going to go path towards bottom. And now you have a very accurate timer on the jungler. Even though he's got a tremendous lead, at least you know where he is. Now, Vi opting for the early Kindle Gem here. Not something that you see all the time. You normally see more longswords, but wants to be more steady in the jungle, apparently. But they're going to be fairly low damage, and with this lead that they've amassed between Olaf, Viego, Lissandra, Drinks, all these champions are going to be able to do so much upfront damage. G2 did have a ward that's lingering there that they can see the Vi on. And now Aji, despite hitting 6 first in the game, that's their only point of strength, that level 6, and that's not going to last forever. Now, Junjia is coming over. Now, this is a little bit surprising, considering that Viego should have been pathing this direction. And they're sort of gambling on the fact that maybe he didn't come all the way. Maybe he, decided to pay a visit to mid, which is what he did. But if Yike were there and over that wall, they'd be able to take this fight. They are just, no doubts about it, stronger here. Now, blue team does get the push in on bot. They opt to take that lead into the scuttle. They say, you know what, this is enough of a prize for me. But Mickey X is going to feel strong. They are obviously just stronger here. They lead in with the traps from Jinx, and they're going to continue this fight. They're going to take it all the way. Now, Caps is getting soloed here by the Ahri. Still has ultimate available. Is looking to save the ultimate to dodge a charm or something like this. Just walks away from the pieces. But however, Aphelios gets the better of the 3v3. Waco, still at full health, was able to free fire into that team. And suddenly that's going to be the end of the lead, right? Because they're going to capture a dragon for their troubles. They're going to get back. They're going to stabilize in all the lanes. And basically everyone lost their lane right at the moment where they were trying to converge and be powerful. So the end result is going to be a Mountain Drake set up on the recalls. You do have a control ward on the blue buff that will let you know when the Vi or Ahri is going over there. You may even see Yike just go for it, saying, hey, Vi's going to be long on this map, long on the world to get back in. Maybe they don't go for anything, but here we go. Even though Hans Sama has a completed Noon Quiver over 2 longswords here, is not going to take these fights and not looking to press up. Perhaps it's something to do with the mana or the HP combined mana lead. They don't have full combo from Lulu, and especially now, right, trying to get a little bit of harass out, but these health bars are still so strong on the Leona's side. Now you're stuck in a negative wave state, right? This is pushing away from you, positive push for you. The enemy team is freezing the negative state. They're going to be able to hold this now. And they get them to walk together. Now, even despite the cleanse, this is going to be a winning fight for the blue team. PSG takes the fight. What is going on, and where are you, Yike? You have to realize that your team is stuck in a positive wave state, right? They're stuck there. The wave is pushing out, and they've got worse mana bars. They end up trying to fight their way through and getting nothing to show for it. And suddenly bot wave has become a point of strength despite getting 3 for 0 dove in the early game. Now what's going to come out of it? We've got 2 deep control wards, right? Well past the beaches. It is planted well within that western quadrant. So they have information that this scuttle is theirs for free. They are punishing the back timers. You also brought over the Lulu, which means Jinx is getting some amount of solo time. Now check out these wards that Lulu's placing, right? On the enemy side, just ever so slightly on the enemy side, you want to get the first to act in these situations, and you get the reset here. Lissandra getting the drone and the Vi becoming the Ahri, is able to Foxfire forward, but won't go any further than that, I don't think. This would be a little bit too ambitious. Hansama's backing up. There's miscommunication here, which ends up costing Mickey his flash. A lot of times I feel like Yike is just not on the same page as his teammates right now. So very interesting to see what the communications are like, what that talking point is like with the coaching staff in between games. But we saw a lot of room for improvement in the Kazakhs game. And we're seeing a lot of room for improvement here. So we'll see if they can straighten this out or whether or not we're going to deal with an Afelio stiff going into this end game. Now, if there is a concern, it's going to be that there's very little damage differentiation, right? Caps is going to have to go with something like a Ludens here, but you see the early Lucid boots, which is all about extra ganking and setting up the teammates. But over here on the other side, we've got Ari and then 3 ADs. So is Olaf going to be able to go Death Stance? Same with Viego. The item's not as strong as it was. So you may see some differentiations. You might see something like a Frozen Heart in a weird situation. Just getting that extra cooldown, especially if you're planning on diving into the team and saying, hey, we want to lock you down with as much versatility as possible. That could be an option. It is something that you see from champions like Kassadin and Ryze every now and then. So it's definitely on the table. We'll see if they go for that. But right now, expect all of the focus from PSG to be to keep this bottom lane ahead. Now, Olaf versus Cassante is still an explosive matchup. Olaf has not been able to flex the lead the way that you might have thought. Cassante also going Bramble Vest, which is very interesting. Olaf likes being lower. That trade back damage is totally fine. They did make the change where the Bramble Vest now applies the healing reduction even if it hits a shield, which is a big deal against the Olaf, right? When he gets low and he puts that shield on, that is kind of a moment where you're expecting to gain a lot of your health back. But now, even though the shield is absorbing the Bramble damage, it is still going to apply grievous wounds. That said, it's still Olaf favored. Olaf is going to carry this lane however he wants. It looks like he's going for a reset now, probably for completed Hydra. There it is. And they're rotating Jinx over. Let's see if they go for a powerful play. They're playing away from the Aphelios, around Vision. Leona's gone on a recall and Roam Timer and Bot Wave to try to get deep wards in. But little do they know, there is nobody here. And suddenly they're going to have a 3 versus 1 gank here. Chip damage is good. Now they're going to fix the wave. They're going to stay in this situation. Caps is going to push mid again and then rejoin. Olaf will be by himself here, which is a little bit tough into this melee matchup, but at least it is with Leona and not a double range. With Leona, she might dive in. You can just Ragnarok to stymie all of her abilities to create a dive. But we'll see if they go for more chip damage on Broken Blade or whether or not they just go for Dragon and Turret. I think they're going to go for just damage on the turret, and they're going to continue with this dive here. They're going to be very safe in the bot wave. You see the Polymorph come out early, and now the Lock Chain CC means Cassante's not able to go all out. Normally, you see him go behind that wall, and he is able to throw any potential divers over the wall and able to change the fight. But because of the Chain CC from Lissandra, from Lulu, from Yike, everybody putting it out there means we have the kill, the clean kill. They did use a lot of time to get there. Now let's see what they get on the far side. Olaf gets a trade kill for himself. Holy crap. In the 3v1, almost gets another one hit away from getting more damage in, and they end up killing the Ahri as well. So best case scenario for G2, Olaf is able to trade kills. They get this entire turret. Hansama is going to be jacked for the rest of this game. 4 kills, 150 set up. Now, that being said, Aphelios, 5 kills, 300 bounty to himself, but he's the only one with any gold on his team. You see Lucid Boots and Everfrost from Ahri, no damage there. You've got Bomby Cinder and Bramble Vest for the Cassante, no damage there. Vi going to try to amplify this Aphelios by going Black Cleaver. So the combination of Denting Blows and Black Cleaver should make it so that there's no armor issue that they have to face this game. Love that build set up for this game. You know, Ahri's not dealing much damage. You better make sure that Aphelios can carry, that's for sure. And all it really takes is one dive into a team fight and one splash of the E to get a little bit of damage reduction everywhere. The damn gold difference. Look at that. Everybody crushing it. And then Aphelios. And Aphelios, This is 1,500 more gold than the Jinx, who is also enormous. That's how big Aphelios is, right? So Jinx is 4-1 with 123 CS and has her own bounty, and yet it's down 1,500 gold on the Aphelios. That is absurd. So put himself into position. He's going to go for second item damage, and going to play from in front. Do not need the defensive tools because you've got all the peel in the world with 4 different champions that can peel off of you. This game is going to be Aphelios or bust. So if you're G2, what is the focus? How do you get there? You've got 1 cleanse to make it through. You're going to have a stopwatch at some point to also fight through. Do you have enough CC from Lissandra and from the ensuing polymorph or Viego stun? The answer is probably not, right? You're going to have to use so many tools. They would all have to hit, and you'd have to layer, for example, Jinx traps to force an early cleanse and then have the second stun just ready to go right on top. Polymorph not going to stop them from moving. So here we go. Here's the big fight. They're expecting big damage from the Olaf, but the play is off. Everybody gets away. No flash is used. Oh, they get it on the left side. Lissandra able to catch Vi on the flank. That's a mistake. The entire enemy team is there, and you know it. Now, this wave, they're going to push in. Olaf is going to take the aggression. Still has Ragnarok available. Watch him come in. Lissandra's up front. They've got the drones. Jinx is going crazy. She's getting excited. Olaf is still taking it up front. Now, Yike is looking for more as well. Has the body of the Ahri. Cannot, dash around with the ultimate, but still has the movement there, and they get beautiful execution. All has to do with Vi getting killed on the side. Because Vi gets killed, they open up the door, and G2 walks right through it. Love the decision. Love the execution. Could have possibly even gone for more there, with Jinx going crazy as she likes. Now, a minute until the dragon is up. They're going to go shop. They're going to get this big setup. Check out the Vi here. Chain CC'd, root into root. Lissandra keeps the other tools though, and they hold this position, and then the players go in. Let's wait for cooldowns. You get Ubao to use his Spirit Rush on the Ahri, and now Vi coming over here, kind of greedy, trying to go for the juicy fruits, ends up getting punished. Olaf, with the help of Ravenous Hydra, can just clear this wave in 1 axe and a couple punches, and now they jump in. Now, I don't think that Mickey actually needed to flash right there. You could have just locked up into that stun and moved forward, right? Your team's taking aggro. This is what I was talking about. Team could have been much further forward. Hansama taking steps to the right. They end up dropping aggro, allowing Lissandra to pick it back up, and she dies. They could have just gone straight through and gone for more. Now, check it out. Broken Blade getting the Whimsy, moving quickly and chasing Waco. It's like, what is an Aphelios in the face of the Ragnarok? Olaf coming deep, the 2-man ultimate, and they're going to get everybody. Aji's going down as well. Broken Blade flexing on this Olaf, playing out of his mind, carrying this game from front to back. You remember level 1. And this game, he's just putting the team on his shoulders. And it looks like we're going to have a defensive item second. This is a little bit interesting. Is it going to be Gargoyle Stoneplate, where you just say, hey, I want extra life while I'm down low? Are they just buying Aegis of the Legion and then going to build into something else? Or is it going to be something like Iceborne Gauntlet or Jaksho and saying, hey, let me just get in the middle of this fight? Or even Radiant Virtue, right? I'm going ultimate. What am I missing? I'm missing stats. And I get a little bit risky if they just burst me down. Well, Radiant Virtue will give me everything that I need in that frame. So maybe he goes there. These fights are going kind of fast, so maybe even too fast for a Jaksho to make it in. I would see Radiant Virtue being the most prominent, especially since you have Lissandra Viego coming in with you. But PSG's got to figure out a plan, right? And the plan probably has to be around don't go backwards, go forwards. If Olaf wants to run into you like this, instead of trying to like kite back, it should be, all right, fine, we'll go kill Jinx. And then hopefully just catch Olaf with enough damage being taken just ancillary to the damage as you're going to the front. Maybe that works, but it is going to be so difficult to get away from the Lissandra drones as they start stacking up. And as soon as Jinx gets one excited proc, right, doesn't matter if she's the one getting the kill or anything. If someone dies in the front line and she's in the back, that's self-peel, right? That's an extra 30% move speed that she'll just be able to fly around, kite around, step away from whoever's diving her. So it's going to be tough. No matter what, PSG is going to be tough. They are probably thinking you know what? If we can get a situation where Olaf is diving and we get a good gun set up on Aphelios, we can just take this. But we have to be able to hold our ground. But this build, this component path that Cassante has chosen is not it for that plan. Right? He's not offering anything for holding people down. They're just going to skip right past them. Bomby's Cinder's going to tickle them for 36 damage. And Bramblevest is going to do nothing until he finishes this item and actually gets to it. Now, very interesting choice. Now, in this level, right, they know that Viego can put that shadow in the middle of the pit to not be exposed. So if you were trying to sneak a Baron, would you not do that? I think that PSG susses out the bluff and says, hey, we see you. You're putting that shadow out. That means you want to be seen. We're not coming in. Viego otherwise, right? If he puts it just in the pit, his ability to sneak out, not nearly as high. But when he does put it around, yes, you do disclose the fact that you're there, but also maybe you find a way to hug those walls and make a play. Now, the edge of the sweeping lens is able to see action in the bush. The question is whether or not they know that they were seen. Probably don't. They did see this ward go down. Ooh, all right. Junja out. They're doing this on minimal vision, and they're doing this in the face of the Aphelios. The Aphelios is big, and he's got explosive guns. They get him to go forward. Now check this out. CC immune. Olaf just goes ham, and they get the Aphelios. That's going to be everything. They put all their eggs in one basket. Now here comes the excited procs. Here come the drones. This is going to be a slaughter. Olaf is going to catch the rest of this fight. Now Spirit Rush from Ahri might be enough to get her to safety here. But Broken Blade still, with all this damage, he might take this whole thing for himself. Take notes, he says. Take notes. Wasn't that the theme of last year's MSI? And now by themselves up here in the top, they do end up getting Junja as well. So Olaf, surviving by the hair on his chin, gets through with just enough damage. That was everything from Lulu and everything from Olaf to be able to get that one kill. That's all they needed to get that far. And you saw it in place. You cannot stop the Ragnarok. The end of worlds is coming for the Aphelios. If Waco is able to get over a wall, for example, and survive this, he would carry this fight. But instead, this fight comes to them. And this is what I was talking about going forward. Instead of, look, that Gale Force out wide, you're not surviving this Olaf. You just can't do it. Everybody on your team should be putting some amount of layered damage in there. Cassante instead says, let me just grab Lulu and pop her over the wall. But that means that we are all clumped up and we get wiped. They've got to front more damage. They just got to be able to, as much as they can and as hard as it is to do it, just deal damage to the Olaf as he's charging in. Make sure to get those ultimates down and just get it in. Even if he's going to avoid the CC, get to him, right? Leona can use the E. Even though it's not going to slow him down, she still can go for the ride. Now check him out. He's going forward with the help of a Lulu. He's got this buff bot. Who needs a Yuumi? Yuumi and Melio, of course, being banned for this tournament. For balance reasons, they called them too new, and the reworked Yuumi and Melio just being busted as AF is a sign that those are champions that you probably want to be playing, especially Melio in your solo queue games. But G2 looking exceptionally strong, able to pull the trigger, Broken Blade playing out of his mind in this game. And now they've got the Baron buff, they've got a dragon, they've got the inhibitor down. All they need to do is survive this counter flank, which doesn't look like it's going to be exactly what Aji wants. But Aji's got to take this blast cone to get out. Goes for an ult. Hansama, what? That's not supposed to work like that. Interesting. I wonder if they call for a bug. The Cassante ultimate stuns you and then pulls you over the wall. If you cleanse the stun portion before the drag portion, I imagine this is what might have happened. If you cleanse the stun but before the drag, it doesn't release you. So you saw this weird situation where he got out of the stun, took 2 steps to the right, but then was teleported to the ending spot of the Cassante. I'm not positive that that's how that's supposed to interact, but G2 not going to be one to complain about it, as they are just taking the base. Now here we go. They're just going to put all this damage on. Are they really running? The call is back. Wow, this Aphelios scaring them all away, which does mean Yike is going to die as well. I do not like that call. You're better off dying and getting this thing down to 1 health. With the threat of even like Lissandra teleporting over, just leave a ward or something, but you probably just get that kill. Aphelios cannot deal that much damage in 3 directions. I say, but 200 years of design resulted in a lot of problems with this champion. Maybe he could have done it. Would have been good to see exactly the numbers, but it did look like they had the damage to just take the turret out, take the Nexus out. But however, 10k in the bag means that they're still happy to play the macro game. They've got this inhibitor down. It's going to spawn 7 more super minions for them. So they still are in a checkmate position. Make no mistake about it. They didn't show the interaction. I really wanted them to show that. Here's the continuation to the fight, showing the strength of Lulu with Olaf. Just going crazy. The drones, right? All of these champions, especially Jinx and Lissandra, champions that play so well from ahead. But importantly here, Waco's staying alive. How does he survive this? It's because there's mixed calls right here. Viego doesn't need to be the one going after that. They do get this turret. Mickey dying early. Yeah, 100%. They could have killed this game. They could have won the game right there. But, what they're thinking potentially is, hey, with the flamethrower out, he can clear the wave. And we don't want to risk finding out how much damage that is. But he used the damage up front. It was used up front to kill the Mickey. If Mickey doesn't die, they also get it. But they just say, you know what, we're stronger. We don't even need to play cross map. We don't need to play across the supers. We will go in the base with the supers, and we'll come end the game right now and claim the victory for themselves. Jinx from downtown cleans it up. And G2 takes game 2, and they're off to play against Billy. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing. It helps the channel out a lot. I'll catch you guys next time. Keep it surreal. Peace.